Oh, really? It wasn't so bad being on the island, locked up with those, with those people, with Ginger and Gilligan and Thurston and Lovey and the rest. We got to know each other better. We okay, we got to know each other better. We spent a lot of time learning new crafts and things. We made some things out of baskets. We learned to weave a lot of stuff. We made huts, all kinds of stuff like that. And Lovey and Thurston got a chance to take a little break from the world of yacht owning in high society and high finance. Ginger got a chance to step back from show business and all the gossip and everything that went on with that. And me, I figured out that I do not want to marry Horace Higginbotham from Horner's Corners. I just want to be Mary Ann Summers. But, I am so glad we got rescued because now we're back to reality. Now we're back to going to shows and going to big festivals and stuff. Woodstock, maybe they'll be putting on another Woodstock. And hugging people and just seeing people out everywhere, throngs and crowds and everything like that. Oh, I can't wait. What? COVID? I never heard of COVID. I've been on a desert island for the past 3 years. Anyway. Okay, welcome everybody to the 63rd episode of Living Figuratively with your host, Judy Takis. Today, we go to the West Side for the Almost Real show by Doug Max Utter and Liz Maugans, who are two Cleveland art rock stars. And so I'm manning the camera myself. So I'm actually going to flip it right now, and we will take a look around this absolutely fabulous, fabulous show that had a real live opening a couple weeks ago, which I was not able to come to. But I have just seen the show myself for the first time, and I think you're going to love it. So I'm going to flip it. Here we go. All right. We're going to kick it off. I'm going to show you, can't talk about every single painting, but we're going to start with this one right here by Liz Maugans. Liz Maugans is an art mover and shaker, printmaker, founder of Zygote Press. And one of the things that she does is, especially with the art in this show, which was all coincidentally created during lockdown for the past year and a half, she has a lot of words in her art. This one in particular is called Cushion the Blow. Actually, it says Cushion the Blow on it, but the name of the art is Cushion Blows, which is very indicative of the kind of word plays that she does that stand for important things and make you think and make you laugh or make you, have some recognition. Doug Max Utter is Cleveland's figurative art, legend. He's been around forever. And he's got some gorgeous, gorgeous pieces like this particular one here, which is called Trending 2020. And his work also, and from this show, was created during lockdown. And a lot of it, this is a very cool aspect of the gallery. It's this metal wall that's probably an elevator. Let's see, this one right here is Liz Maugans' Metamucil Man, which has sort of the drippy syrupiness of it. And she's got words in here, like she's got the word meta, like Metamucil. And then the Lone Ranger symbolism where, he's masked, but it's not the same kind of masks that we've been wearing. Then we've got these beautiful stone or whatever, brick walls that, is this very fun looking gallery. Here's this is a self-portrait by Doug Max Utter, which is, it's a phenomenal likeness, actually. And his paintings are just, they're bold colors, garish colors sometimes, and influenced by, a lot of times by old-time family photographs. And it's right here with one of Liz's. Okay, this one is CBD in the pandemic and Valium pills. Like, those are the words that are in it. And she just, I'm gonna take the one up here, right? It's a chair, a table, a violin, hat. Does a man need to be? What does a man need to be? It's, you know, like things that sort of put interesting concepts into your head that you can sort of peruse. These two right here by Doug Mache, I think I'm going to focus a little bit more on these ones. These ones have the religious names. They're Mary and Judas is this one. And then this one right here is Tidings Brought to Mary. And they are contemporary people, contemporary images with this, you know, iconic sort of religious titles, you know, based on Renaissance art where there's lots of Renaissance art that, you know, Judas and actually Mary and Judas. I don't know that there's a painting that contains Mary and Judas together. There's definitely ones that are Tidings Brought to Mary, you know, and of course Mary is, you know, overwhelmed a little bit when the angel comes and tells her that she's going to be having, you know, the baby Christ. So, you know, those are very, very cool figurative works. Let's go around the corner here. We've got a couple more by Doug Mache. And this one right here is another one that's very indicative of, like, they look, and this is why the show is called Almost Real, at least in my mind. They look almost real, and yet there's definitely a surrealness to them. They look like they might have been done from photographs that actually exist. It's almost like they're more real than the photograph because they just hold so much power and truth in them. This one is another self-portrait, more of a vulnerable lockdown self-portrait by Doug Mache, and that has just a lot of you know, interesting texture and details and really, really cool. This one right here is a gigantic one by Liz Maugans. It's called Searching for Baseline, and it's all about the new normal when you're locked down in COVID. And one of the things that Liz does that is really quite amazing, she's written these little narratives that go along with each one of these paintings. I'm not gonna, you know, read them to you, but you should come see this show and read them yourself, because even though her art contains words, she wants to make darn sure that you know what she's going after and that she's, you know, she's not preaching. She's right there with you. This is, you know, she's suffered through COVID, and you're not alone. And that's one of the things, here, wait, before we focus on that, I think this one is my favorite Doug Mache. That nose, you know, you think he's not realistic, and then you see like how beautifully he's done that nose, and then you're like, whoa, he knows how to do a nose, and he knows how to paint, and, you know, it's creating more of a reality than reality actually is. Okay, we're gonna go around to another one by Liz Maugans. All of hers contain words. This particular direction right here that she's going, they contain words, and they've also got that mouse hole shape, which is mouse hole, it's also a gravestone potentially. It also is like a doorway, a portal to something. And she's actually used that as a motif and a way to isolate the words that she uses and the letters that she uses so that they can be, you know, seen differently. Like, okay, here's the word lullaby, and you've got the word lull, and then you've got the word and then you've got the word by, which sort of separates lullaby, like makes it into, multiple meanings. This one right here is all about complacency and, accepting things and, driving through your life as opposed to stopping and, smelling the roses. And I'm going to say something else about word art. Liz Maugans' work is not word art, even though it contains words. To me, word art, that's the stuff that you see at Hobby Lobby, God forbid if you shop there, but if you just walk through to look, there's a lot of word art there, big old words like, live, laugh, love, and gatherings and family and stuff like that. The things what bothers me about other, word art like that is that it pretends like everything's okay. It pretends like the world is wonderful, and if you hang that on your wall, then your world will be wonderful too. Liz Maugans' art is not word art like that. It does contain words, but it doesn't pretend everything's okay. It actually lets you know that everything is not okay, but you know what? That's okay too, and that you're not alone. And I think that is so valuable. Like this one is chock full of it. It's Kilroy Was Here, one. And so she's got all kinds of like, you only live once, your cell phone, this moment, and you can put things together. Mercy on Your Souls, like, the religious stuff, the one and only, blue cheese, olives, just the different things that maybe you have experienced during COVID, and just, it makes you sort of think and want to drift into it. This piece right here, it's called Thoughts of an Island. This to me is classic Doug MacSutter, because you've got the face, which looks like a real face, looks like it could have been a photograph of a real actual person. And then there's just all this stuff going on around it, and the hair is stylized, and the big color patches that just bring it to a whole new level of reality. And I also love how their work is very much flip-flopped with each other. It really does go beautifully together. This one right here is one of Liz's, and it's a statement about how movie theaters are not showing during lockdown, and which to me is one of the very sad things. I love the drips on it. It's like, the blood, I guess, I don't know, or it suggests that. But so let's go around the corner here. Okay, we've got this next one, what is this one called? Take Me Away, Save Self-Pleasure. I don't know if any of you remember Calgon, Take Me Away, which Liz talks about in the her verbiage about this, is that she spent a lot of time on lockdown soaking in her hot tub and soaking in her bathtub and just, living and existing and processing this sort of new normal. I mean, all these things are cliches, new normal and due to COVID and different ways to communicate and stuff. But, and she's got the mouse hole motif over and over. And it's layered, it's complex. It's, there's coloring book pieces in there. It's drips and probably prints and then, she has a lot of these 1950s, 1960s throwbacky kind of, images to just to remind you of where you came from, where, Midwestern life and growing up here in Ohio. This one is another self-portrait by Doug MacSutter, which it's very interesting because up until COVID, I don't think I've seen a Doug MacSutter self-portrait. But, there's nothing like being your own best model. And here also is a beautiful likeness, and it's a masked, mask pulled down kind of likeness. And then here, this one, perhaps Some of us can relate to the casserole's lie. It's all about the scales and the scale lying, and this, I think this is a cute little fun, sexy touch that you don't necessarily need to think of that way, but that's where my mind goes. And she's got 3 actual scales here for anybody that wants to bravely weigh themselves with their shoes and their purse and everything. Here's another. This is a beauty by Doug Maxe. Maybe this one's my favorite. Driving to Petaluma. I'm not sure if that's the right pronunciation, but these are paintings based on photographs and memories from his growing up. He, grew up in the Midwest. He spent time in, I want to say Wisconsin, Missouri, Michigan, some of those, what you guys out east call the flyover states. But I love how he's painted this. And she's got just this, that driving in the middle of the night. I wish I would get there, but what am I going to find when I get there kind of feel to it. It's really, really just a lot of soul in that one. And this one by Liz again, I am just going to stay here. This one speaks to the people that I feel probably the worst for COVID-wise, that are locked in these gigantic apartment buildings where you are in your 1-bedroom apartment staring at your 4 walls, and if you're lucky, you have a bathroom and a kitchen that are separate, and that's where you are, and that's where you're staying for months and months and months. It's really, she's built these out of these, I don't even know if these are building parts or something from some instruction manual, but they're collaged onto it. And yeah, that's a very poignant piece. And now here, for those of you who love Doug Maxe, are some smaller, more affordable ones that are they're just these classic, gorgeous portraits of specific / not specific people. This one is Shade, this one is Morning, and this one is Red number 2. And, they look like specific people, but there's enough generalness to them where they also look like a mood. This one right here is I think, a very happy one by Liz Maugans. It's called Up. And there's the word up, and it's got the mouse holes. And in fact, I think that's the only word in there, which is interesting. It has a red dot on it, which means that it's been snagged already. But there are some smaller ones that are still available and some bigger ones that are available too. This one is called Messy Family, which I think she could make one for every single family in the world, and it would be appropriate. Right here, we've got this beauty called Like It or Not. And to me, this is kind of a statement on what we all did and what you guys are doing right now during COVID, even post-COVID. So thank you for being here, even post-COVID, is scrolling and liking the faces. She's got the beautiful mouse hole stuff going on. Like. There's more likes. It's really, she just uses her words really, really well. Cool elevator. I love the color. And here is another one. I'm going to go pan out first, and then we'll go in. This one is probably the biggest one by Doug Maxe. Here again, it's very classic Doug Maxe. It's this ambiguous family portrait situation. Why is there a goat there? What is going on here? And nobody seems super happy about it, or about whatever situation that's going on. And then you get closer, and there's a twistedness, and then but a realism. Like that's a real human face there. you know, despite the fact that it's not rendered out and, you know, it's not naturalistic human colors, these are real. They're, you know, create their own reality. And then we come down to this one that hand that this little boy is sucking on is so stunning. I mean, that is a Renaissance hand. The coolness where the knuckle or the wrist bends, he just did it so beautifully. I mean, like you zoom into little parts and there's just a lot of life and realism. Not that realism is all and end all, but it's satisfying. It's satisfying to find those things for me as a, you know, as a realist. And as a fan of art that isn't, you know, a better version of what I'm trying to do. So this one right here is another piece with all kinds of words, but it's the world slams shut. The world slams shut. And she's got all the states. Oop, look, here's a little bent over guy, unless that is supposed to be something else, and it's a psychological test where what do you see when you see that? The states all colored the way the political map went, or it was at that particular day. You know, a nice big coloring book image of a lock. All right, let's keep going around. Hedge Gallery is a really beautiful industrial space, and people have weddings here, and they're really very stunning. And you know, you get like cool details, like old weathered poles like that, and cool fun ceilings and elevator backdrops, and also the art that happens to be here, which is always beautiful. We've got mother and child at sunset, right? Yeah, at sunset. This one has, you know, definitely the biblical connotations, the mother and child, and Doug Max Utter did it beautifully. Build It Up. Okay, this is one by Liz Maugans. Build It Up. And we've got faith, hope, charity, and then there's ruined hidden in there. It's really, you know, legacy, ruined, rigged. So there's the words flip and flop. Like you think, oh, it's happy and positive. It's got yellow, but then you see, you know, different things that maybe aren't so happy and positive. It's complexity. That's what it's all about. And look at this. I'm gonna pan across this beautiful wall back there. This you know, exposed brick and everything. They've got a bar, so it's an awesome place to have your wedding too. And now here we go. Here we've got this nice little wall full of small. So you could actually collect a bunch of these and stick them together with other small things that you have. I'm just going to give it a quick pan. She's got fun things. 365 days is this one's called. I don't want to be alone. Sometimes I feel all I do is reheat food. You know, these things. Like, this is the kind of thing where it should be in your kitchen instead of a piece that says, you know, gather. Because this one doesn't pretend like everything's fine and everything's good and you don't live up to the signs in your house. They say time heals, doubtful. And here's a sweet one, I Simply Love You, with the mouse holes. And stay tuned also, because Liz Maugans has other mouse hole things planned. I'll tell you about that later in the future. And this is a little fun trio that look almost like 3 album covers, but they're not. They are The Music of My Brothers. So this one is Linda Ronstadt. Everyone loves Linda Ronstadt. This one is Jackson Browne. I still love Jackson Browne. And this one is Bob Seger. The Music of My Brothers. So it's 3. So these ones you can buy on 2 different levels. You can look at the complexity and the art of them and, see how gorgeous they are. Or if you love Bob Seger, buy freaking Bob Seger. Buy it because you love Bob Seger. Love in the Time of Almost. That's a cool one too. And she's got the Time magazine logo. I Feel Most Everything. And then these fun little ones here. Find Someone Fast. I mean, that scrambly time right before everything locks down. Maybe you want to lock down with somebody. Maybe you don't want to be alone. And it's hard to find that someone. Or maybe you're stuck with all the people you don't want to lock down with. And you wish you were alone. But then maybe that only goes so far. Ain't No Sunshine. She Is Gone with the Wind. Yeah, see, that one's very, very cool too. I'm gonna skip around right here. We've got a couple more. Comfort. Uncomfortable Zone. So yeah, it's like uncomfortable, comfortable. When can we go outside again? When others can come in. I can be fine as long as people can effing touch. Effing goddamn touch. And we will finish up here with this Nighttime Scene by Doug Max Utter. This one is brilliant. It's not figurative, and it doesn't say anything more than it needs to, but it sure looks like nighttime, like a nighttime scene. And you're not quite sure whether those white things are just different lights or whether they're stains, whether it's something's gone wrong here, which also, we finished up COVID. I wouldn't even say we finished up COVID yet, but right as we were coming out from lockdowns is when George Floyd was murdered. And so that, was like, what now? But not another sad painting. Not another sad, desperate painting. This has a sweet, a nice sweetness to it. Like, and then I've seen this film before. And another city scene by Doug Max Utter. And we'll finish up right here, back exactly where we started. With this beauty by Doug Max Utter, which is called Paper Mache Giraffe, and it's masked. So these are definitely a statement of our COVID times, and I think that a lot of us can relate to the different feelings that are in this show. But I went through it so quickly. I want you guys to come and see it slowly, walk through it slowly. It's at the Hedge Gallery, 78th Street Studios, and I want to say it's going to be here till July 9th, but I might be wrong about that, so definitely check the website. And there will probably be another third Friday in its future, I hope, which they have an art walk every third Friday. I'm going to flip it around so that we can say goodnight. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Come back next week. It'll be the normal time, normal bat channel, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be June 10th, and we're heading to the Lakeland May Show, which is the brainchild of Mary Urbis, who is the gallery director there, who, when the Cleveland Museum of Art May Show stopped doing it, and they used to have the May Show, which was the big premiere show in the area, from 1919 all the way through 1993. They stopped doing it. Mary Urbis got the wonderful idea of, having another show in May, but this time it's at Lakeland Community College. So it's a competitive show that happens every year. This year it was juried by Jay and Wadsworth Jarrell. And I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen it myself, and I have one piece in the show, so I'm psyched about that. So next week, it'll be a two-part episode because the first part's going to be at Lakeland and the second part is going to be at Stella's Gallery in Willoughby, which is the Lakeland Mache extended view. So that's the first time that she's ever done that. So join me next week, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same bad time, normal bad channel. And also, I want to, say R.I.P. Dawn Wells, also known as Marianne Summers from Gilligan's Island, also known as one of the 50 sexiest TV stars in history, believe it or not. She passed away, sadly, from COVID this past December 2020, the year that the world, trembled, the most surreal year we've had yet, and the one that was not quite real, but it's almost real. So, y'all come back now, you hear?